Well, it's the week in college football that nearly every team has, and that's the open week. But that doesn't mean we're not going to visit with you today on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Coming up today, we'll catch up with the coach as the Racers go into game week against Jacksonville State. And we'll also have our first extended sit-down with quarterback Casey Brockman. You don't want to miss it as the Racer Report begins right now. Hi folks, and welcome to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Dave Winder with you, and it is game week now. After the open week, the Racers getting ready to go to Jacksonville State, and they'll go down there to Jacksonville, Alabama this Saturday. Looking forward to that game, looking forward to the Racers getting back on the field. So coach, how have you been? How's the team been? What's been going on during the open week?
Well, we've taken the week to rest some, and not only physically but mentally as well, and when we work good at our fundamentals, and a little bit on Jacksonville State. Offensively, we've been playing extremely well. Defensively, haven't been playing as well. So we're going back to some basics. We're simplifying some things on the defensive side of the ball, trying to get some of these playmakers in better positions to make plays. But it's been a good week. It was at a good time for us. We still got a lot of season left to be played. Like I said last week on the show, man, 6 out of 8 conference games that we've been defeated have come down to a touchdown or less. We got to find a way to start making those extra plays in the course of a game to get on the winning track. 7 games into this 2012 season, myself and our production staff here, Brooks and Jim, we were kind of playing fans a minute ago. We were grading each game as it went down, just from a standpoint of taking everything together. That Tennessee Tech game, if you could bottle that game and say, okay, we're going to do that the rest of the season, would that kind of be the game so far that you felt like everything came together? Yeah, I think so. Again, you look at the entire season overall, and we could easily, even with the defeat at Eastern Illinois, 1 point, Tennessee Martin touchdown, we could still be 5-2 and have the same issues. With one loss to Florida State. Well, with Florida State, and then you play Central Arkansas, who's a top 10 team, and let's face it, we're not a top 10 program yet. So those are 2 games that we're probably not ready to compete in yet. But I read a quote today. We're not where we want to be, but thank goodness we're not where we used to be. That's right. So we're we're way ahead of the curve. We're in every ball game we're playing. The guys have had a good attitude. They work extremely hard. So you look at the schedule's been tough. We've had 2 games that could have gone either way. But we still got a lot of things we got to work on, and that's what we took the off week, and we really focus in on those deficiencies that we've shown the first part of the season. Well, since we have some time today coming off the open date, we're going to visit with Mitch Stewart, Murray State's offensive coordinator, in just a moment, and then later on Casey Brockman. But first, maybe your thoughts. First, Mitch and the job he's done, and then Casey, who's been a great quarterback for you. Well, I think we got a really good staff all the way across the board, and some schemes you can only do because your personnel allows you to do that. It's still about the players. There's made no bones about it. It's still about the players, but I think our offensive staff has done a great job of honing in on the skills and the schemes that fit our players, and our players have really taken to it. They believe in it, and one reason they believe, they've been very successful in it, and a lot of that has to do with the main guy, and that's Casey Brockman. He runs the show. Mitch does a good job of coaching him up, and got Sean Dawkins, the running back coach. He's done a good job with those 2 running backs, getting them incorporated. Ross Jenkins, the receivers, Mike Polly, Sean Bostic with the O-line, Matt Forrest, the assistant on that side. So those guys have really done a good job of oiling that machine, and that machine's been very productive this year. All right, Coach Chris Hatcher is going to give up his seat graciously here, and when we come back in just a moment, we're going to have offensive coordinator Mitch Stewart, and then later in the show, the real wild horse, Casey Brockman, will join us to talk about his record-breaking career. Take our first break here and come back with more on the Racer Report.
Tonight is the night. Like the thoroughbreds we are named for, racers are spirited and proud. We have the heart and will to succeed, to go farther, learn more, and embrace wisdom. We are champions who take our place in the Murray State tradition. We are racers.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
Hi folks, welcome back to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Chris has given up his seat for a few segments since we have the open week, and we've got some time to visit with some other parts of the Racer staff, and of course Casey Brockman a little bit later on. Offensive coordinator Mitch Stewart joins us now. Mitch, appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
You've been a busy guy, if only keeping track of all the points that the offense is putting up this season. So you guys have put them up in bunches.
Well, you know, we started the season kind of slow. Not really counting Florida State. I won't count that one in there. Yeah. But even after that, we started kind of slow, and it's just been kind of a work in progress. And you know, I've kind of liked the way that we've done it, because I don't think that we hit our peak too quick. You know, a lot of times you come out right out of the gates and you peak, or you do really well, and then it kind of either plateaus or you just kind of fall off a little bit. And I think the offensive staff, as well as the offensive kids, they've done a good job of just kind of working and gradually getting better, you know, each week.
Well, the one thing I really wanted to ask you today, as a fan and as a person I'm not a big X's and O's guy. Mm-hmm. You know, I watch the NFL Network and listen to John Gruden about all the technical stuff. But
right.
If you could break this down for our fans and just I guess basically tell us, in the whole scheme of the offense, how much of it is ad-libbed and how much of it is, when you call a play, this is what it's got to be? Because I know there's a little bit of ad-libbing going on there.
Sure, and I'll say this about him because I know he's coming on, and I hate to give him too much credit, but Brockman is probably one of the best that I've seen at ad-libbing certain things. There's a lot of times where I'll call a play, and I'm thinking he's going to go one way with it, and he goes the exact opposite way, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But at the same time, we try not to handcuff our kids a whole bunch. We try to let them go out there and be football players, and some things that they do are just going to be because they're just trying to be football players. I can't tell you how many times they've come to the sideline and go, "Coach, that guy, he really wasn't doing, you know, what we thought he was going to do, so I just did this." And we just kind of go, "Good, you know, we'll handle it on Sunday. Good, you just keep doing that." So you know, a lot of it is just kind of spur of the moment, ad-lib type stuff out there on the field. Because,
you know, really, I mean, you watch football at the pro level, and it's almost like the play gets changed 2 seconds before the snap comes.
Sure.
Is that kind of happening in the college game, where the defense is disguising what it's going to do to the last possible second, and then you've got to make an adjustment?
Yeah, you know, I think so, just because defenses are getting so good at what they do. They're getting so good at disguising what they're going to do. So offenses have to be ready to either check out of that, like you're talking about, and at the professional level, those guys, you know, you see Eli Manning and Peyton Manning and Brady and those guys, they're the best in the business at doing that. Or offenses kind of go on the other end of the spectrum, and tempo has become the big thing with offenses, and they just try to go really fast to where they basically say, "Look, we're going to try to get you, you know, out of position and try to beat you that way."
It's interesting stuff, no doubt. We've got about a minute before we have to take a break here, Mitch. Tell us a little bit about the maturation process of Casey Brockman. He was really good, but now he's really, really good.
Well, I tell you that the thing about him is he works hard during the week at it. It's not something that, you know, he's not a naturally gifted superb athlete by any means, and I'll tell him that straight to his face, but he works at it. Another kid comes to mind, Walter Powell. You know, he's got really good athletic ability, don't get me wrong, but he also works hard at his craft, and that's what makes Brockman who he is, and that's what, and in the same sense, that's what makes Powell who he is because they work at it every day.
Well, it's certainly been a lot of fun to watch. So, Mitch, good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Appreciate Mitch Stewart stopping by, Murray State's offensive coordinator. Casey Brockman is up next. We're going to visit with the Murray State quarterback for a couple of seconds. We'll do that next on the Racer Report.
Explora un nuevo mundo.
여러 가지 경험들을 많이 체험하세요.
आइए और अपना जहां खुद बनाइए.
Icalochen ukusanga.
عالم جدير بالاكتشافات.
Entdecke deine Welt.
Svůj svět do odkrycia.
Dünyanızı keşfedin.
創造你的未來.
Tất cả những điều tốt đẹp nhất đang chờ đón bạn.
Dunia Anda untuk dijelajahi. 探索你的世界.
Murray State University, your world to explore.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State athletics.
Hi, folks, and welcome back to the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Coach is giving away his seat here for just a moment as we're joined by Murray State quarterback Casey Brockman. Appreciate you being here, Casey.
No problem.
It's great to have you here. I've been wanting to have a good sit-down interview with you since the season started, and the open week certainly helped get that along here a little bit. But I've been wanting to just take it from the beginning and go back to not even the time when you walked on at Murray State, but even the time before that at Callaway County High School, where you were a senior in 2008. Just kind of take us back to that last year when you were playing for the Lakers and how all that prepared you to be a college quarterback.
You know, my senior year, we had a really good year. We made it, I guess, the semifinals of the playoffs, and you know, ran a spread very similar to what we're running now. And you know, our coach, Coach McKeel, you know, played here. You know, was all conference tight end, so you know, he kind of knew what to tell me. You know, after the season was over, about kind of how to prepare. I remember a little funny story. I was said I'm going to work out, all winter, try to get ready. He said, why? It's a job when you get to college, so take your two or 3 months off and enjoy it, because you're not going to get that time back. So my senior year was a good experience. Playing in the spread, the similar system we have now with Coach Hatcher, really got me prepared, to play at the next level. If fortunate enough, Coach Hatcher came along and ran the same system, and I guess marriage matched.
Well, taking a look at some of that old footage, you can tell that you obviously knew what you were doing. He had some talent. Of course, Josh McKeel is now my partner on Racer TV, so he's enjoyed that as well. But when you came to Murray State, or I guess the question I wanted to ask was, at what point when you came to Murray State did you feel like, hey, I can do this and I could do it well?
I'd say maybe the scrimmage my freshman year, I walked on my freshman year, in the scrimmage, to end camp, we were it was a kind of a battle for the number 3 spot, and I had a drive that I think I fumbled because we ran under center under Coach Griffin, and I fumbled the first snap of the scrimmage, and then actually went down. I don't think I threw an incompletion or something throughout our drive for the scrimmage, and threw a touchdown pass in the drive. And I kind of was like, maybe it's not as different. It's obviously faster and things, but I kind of realized at that point I wasn't going to be too overwhelmed, with the speed and stuff. And I think that's kind of helped me, in the process of, being comfortable and kind of realizing that, maybe I can play at this level.
Well, at the end of your freshman year, you didn't play much at all until those last 3 games, and that kind of got you going into your sophomore year, kind of pick things up. But the other thing that I've noticed about you is that work ethic that you've had all the way through. Tell us about your work ethic and how you think about it in your own mind.
Oh, I mean, it's one of those things that I can't remember who told me a long time ago. They said, quarterback's supposed to be the first person to arrive and the last person to leave. I can't say that I've always done that, but I'm usually here all summer, working out with the guys and throwing and after workouts and things like that. Because it's if you want to be great at this level, it's a year-long process, and you can't really take days off and take weeks and a month off. So I think I learned that pretty early, especially in high school. I did the same kind of things, and it just carried over. And the fact that you got coaches that'll push you, and you got other teammates that'll push you and make you work that much harder. Competition brings out the best in everybody, and I'm fortunate enough, my sophomore year to have Jeff there with me, kind of show me how to go and how to work hard, and push me to make me as good as I've been the past few years, and show me a good way to work.
Well, it's certainly been fun to watch the maturation process for Casey Brockman from a freshman to where he is now as a senior. We're going to take a break here on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. When we come back, we're going to kind of take it the last couple of years and how great they've been for Murray State's now all-time best quarterback. We'll take a break, come back with more on the Racer Report.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
Explora un nuevo mundo.
여러 가지 경험들을 많이 체험하세요.
आइए और अपना जहां खुद बनाइए.
Icalochen ukusanga.
عالم جدير بالاكتشافات.
Entdecke deine Welt.
Bu świat do odkrycia.
Dünyanızı keşfedin.
創造你的未來.
Festivalin ke Vilago.
Tất cả những điều tốt đẹp nhất đang chờ đón bạn.
Dunia Anda untuk dijelajahi. 探索你的世界.
Murray State University, your world to explore.
Hey Racer fans, don't forget to check out GoRacers.com, the homepage of Murray State Athletics. New videos going up every week, and also all of the rosters and pictures and everything you want from every Murray State team at GoRacers.com. We're continuing our conversation with Murray State quarterback Casey Brockman out here on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. Coach will join us after the next break. But Casey, I think that maybe the defining game for you at Murray State was probably that homecoming game in 2010. The 72-59 victory over Missouri State. I still look back, and we were doing the game that day on Racer TV, and I remember in the first quarter just going, wow, if this doesn't turn around, it's going to be a long, long day. But it did turn around. Tell us about what you remember about that day.
It's weird. I don't remember much, but I just remember, getting down early. I think we fumbled on one of the opening drives and had to set up a field goal on another drive, and we were down 21-3, I think, in a snap of a finger. And then the next thing I know, we were just kind of moving the ball. We moved the ball on every drive, and we were converting into touchdowns, and didn't really realize what the score was. And I think they fumbled 2 kickoffs, and we scored bang bang and got the lead. And then I think somebody came over to me on the sidelines after, I guess, the defense, it was 4th down maybe on their last drive, and they said, "You realize you have 7 touchdowns?" And I was like, "No." And I looked up at the scoreboard, it was 72-59. I didn't even realize that was a score. And I said, well, somebody's had to score them, I guess. And that was kind of, wow, 7 touchdowns, your first start under, the new coaching staff. I guess that was my coming out party, so to speak.
Yeah, so to speak. That was just an absolutely amazing game that day. But when you came to Murray State, did you ever think about breaking records, anything like that? I'd probably think the answer is no. You're just playing each game as it comes.
I mean, my goal was just to play at some point. I didn't know what to expect, so I was just hoping to, at some point in my career, just play. If you'd have told me this would have happened, I would have laughed in your face.
Have you always kind of had a chip on your shoulder, though, for those who said you couldn't do it?
I think so.
That motivates you? Being
turned down and being kind of not looked at coming out of high school was really kind of a motivating factor. And some of the schools in our conference and things that didn't look at me, it's kind of, I do play with a little bit of chip on my shoulder, especially there early in my career when, I felt like I was probably good enough to get some scholarship offers, and just, it just didn't happen for whatever reason.
Well, what's interesting about it is Murray State's where you wanted to go to school anyway. Your family's all a Murray State family, and you grew up here. So it's amazing how things just have a way of working out. As a matter of fact, Michael Proctor was at homecoming Saturday, the guy you've broken all of his records. Did you get a chance to see him before the game at all?
I did. I talked to him, I guess, Friday night before. I met him 2 years ago at that homecoming game against Missouri State, and talked to him after the game a little bit. And great guy, and love to go to Chicago where he's at now and talk to him and maybe stay with him for a few days. But he's a great guy, and I was fortunate enough to get a chance to meet him and talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, well, we had him on Racer TV at half Saturday, and he was just rooting you on all the way. He was glad that what he did at Murray State maybe motivated somebody else to come along and be better, which you certainly have been. But before we leave here, maybe just sum up what it means for you to be playing for Murray State. It's a school that's very near and dear to you. Maybe just sum that up and what it means to you.
It's special. It's obviously special for anybody to play in college and be able to play at the next level. But I think it's even more special for myself just being able to play in front of the people that have grown up watching me in high school, and that my family's good friends with, and growing up watching Justin Fuente throw it around, Stewart Childress, all the quarterbacks before me. And then being able to be that guy that they were. And, I remember watching Shane Andrews kick that field goal, 10 years ago. And I've always wanted to play here. And, it's special seeing a horse run around the track every time we score. So, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And it means everything to be able to play, in front of this crowd, in front of, Racer Nation.
Well, we certainly on behalf of the Racer Nation, congratulations on what you've done, Casey, and look forward to the rest of the season. Okay, so we're going to take our final break here in the Racer Report. Coach Hatcher's back on the other side of the break to wrap up this week's show.
Like the thoroughbreds we are named for, racers are spirited and proud. We have the heart and will to succeed, to go farther, learn more, and embrace wisdom. We are champions, who take our place in the Murray State tradition. We are racers.
Roof Brothers, a Paducah tradition for 100 years. Roof Brothers, locally owned, family run. Roof Brothers, the best selection of beer, wine, and spirits found anywhere. Roof Brothers, service from selecting that special beverage for that special occasion to a keg party at the lake. Roof Brothers, 2 locations to serve you. Roof Brothers, proud supporters of Murray State Athletics.
We're back here on the Racer Report with head coach Chris Hatcher as we wrap up this week's show, and the Racers going to Jacksonville State this Saturday. And we're now into the last part of the season, Coach. It's just amazing that we've gone from the hot summertime, training camp, already 7 games in, and here we go.
Well, I know it goes by fast. You know, you train all year, and I've always said it with football. It's unlike other sports where every sport trains the same amount of time, but the other sports get more games.
Right.
And, you know, football is just a regimented 11-a-game schedule guaranteed for your team. And it has gone by fast. And, you know, I think part of it is we've had some great moments. We've had some not so great moments. But all in all, the product that we're putting on the field generally has been good. Now, the outcome hasn't always been what we want it to be. But, boy, I tell you what, it sure has flown by. And I just hope we can finish up, starting with Jacksonville State, finish on a great note to end a season that had high hopes going into it.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to this Saturday's game. Coach talked about, you know, that game where it could put the Racers over the hump. The Racers haven't beaten Jacksonville State since they joined the league the very first time they played, and maybe the Racers can get it done this week. So, Coach, I appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you, Dave.
And we'll catch you next week, and we'll catch all of you next week here on the Race Report with head coach Chris Hatcher. And as we leave you today, here's the voice of the Racers, Neil Bradley.
Morrow with a great catch and run. He's still in there, stands to the right of Brockman. Brockman has the ball, pulls it down, throws to Morrow, catches at the 20, 15, bumps to the outside 5, into the end zone. Jordan Morrow with the score, and it's a 1-point ball game. They hand it to Barry. He's into the end zone for the touchdown, and it's 48-42. The Racers are on the board in the first overtime. This time they don't get close to it. Here's the kick. Powell runs up, grabs it at the 30, bumps to the outside, 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, tripped, 20, 15, 10, 5, he scored! He took it all the way for the touchdown. Walter Powell put it on the board. Brockman from the left hash mark, works from shotgun, looks to throw to the right side, timing play, corner of the end zone. It's caught for the score, I believe. And it is a 16-yard touchdown pass for the Racers. Snap back to Brockman, throws left side. It's caught by Brady at the 40, 35 upfield. He's at the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. He's gone for the touchdown. Dwayne Brady continues the hot hand. 3 scores last week, gets another this week with 9:43 to go, 13-0 Racers. Down by 3 touchdowns already. Brockman rolls to his right, throws the deep ball, and it is caught at the 30, 20, 15, 10. Touchdown, 1 play, and the Racers go boom. Dontel Watkins with the catch. Here's the snap to Brockman. Stays in the pocket. They're after him. He throws. Barry catches at the 12. Beeline to the end zone. He dives. Touchdown, Barry! Took the ball, extended it beyond the goal line, and scored.